And we're back!
Welcome to the Prodigals Podcast, where we discuss all kinds of topics relating to faith and culture.
We discuss topics not normally preached on the pulpit or talked about during Bible studies. That is why we are here for you.
It is our hope and our goal that through these discussions, people will be inspired to talk about issues that Christians go through in their daily walk with God. So without further ado, let's get to our discussion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? We are back in the month of March. We're sorry. It
was a long sabbatical.
That was a really long break. That was a quarterly break.
Wow,
that was 3 months. Long, huh? Yeah, man, 3 months. Time just got away from us. It seems so, just like last week, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It didn't even feel like 3 months. It just kept going. It just, through the busy season of Christmas and things got away from me, like scheduling things and all that. So my bad, everyone. But we are back for this year, and we're just excited to be here, to continue to use this platform to speak about God and to speak about our faith and to encourage our listeners and to share what God has been teaching us in our journey. And we're so happy to be here still together after our break, and we're excited to share with you. 3 months is a long time, so so we're excited to share with you what we've been up to and what caught our eye and what kind of like piqued our interest with current events and all that. So I guess this episode will be a list episode, Prodigals. Epic Prodigals list. You're gonna hear Alan sing in a little bit.
What?
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 Your jingle.
The opening. I thought he was gonna give us a special number for today.
But yeah, so we're excited to share with you what we've been up to, and this is our Epic Prodigals list.
There's no more time, so let's just start. And no, it's not that hard to say what's in our hearts. Everyone will have a say. They won't be turned away. We'll share with you today. This is our Epic Prodigals list.
I'm so happy to hear this special number for this episode.
I don't know, man.
Solo.
Yes.
I don't know.
So yeah. How are you guys? What have you been up to? Anything significant happen with you during the break?
All right. For me, I got a brand new, spanking new, fresh ACL.
Hey!
Yeah, out for the
In my
season.
knee, out for the season.
On rehab.
I got it at the end of January, and now it's been. How long has it been now? Like,
Was it the end of January?
Yeah, January 25th.
Oh,
so
okay.
that brings
So
us to 1, 2,
basically a
3,
month and a
4,
half.
5, 6, 7,
For,
7,
7 weeks.
post-op. Not bad.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's been going good so far. Yeah, it's very significant, as in the fact that the first 2 weeks of recovery was the toughest thing ever, just because it felt like I was a baby. Like, I felt like I was another baby. As people, I don't know, people know, but I have a daughter, and going into the surgery, it's a day surgery, so I have to go home. I would go home the same day. And I was like, oh yeah, there's no way I'm going to be a burden on just my wife, Isabel. And then we have a baby to take care of. And then there's going to be another baby. So luckily, thank you to the kindness of my parents and my sisters, we stayed over at my parents' place for like 2 weeks, and it was a humbling experience. Let me tell you.
So you refused to make your wife a single mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Of two.
Yeah.
And
I
it was-
did not want to do that. It's kind of funny. We were kind of talking just like about how things are going now. It's like if I had to be a single mom, I could be a single mom, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh shoot!
I don't know how to take that.
In the sense that
No,
she
honey.
has adapted
You
very
can't.
well in my recovery phase, which has been she's been very patient and kind with me. So I'm very thankful for her.
Very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, but what about your mom and your sister? Were they as patient and kind?
It kind of
Considering
it kind of turned into that my family, my parents and my sisters took care of Savannah for the most part, and then Isabel took care of me. So we just deferred the care of Savannah, my daughter, to the care of my family, and then
Nice.
Isabel was my primary caregiver for those first 2 weeks.
Yeah,
It was,
but
a good time.
you recovered pretty quickly, or you are recovering pretty quickly.
Yeah,
'Cause,
like-
I think a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, you were able to walk.
Yeah, I was using crutches and everything up until maybe I can't remember, maybe 3-4 weeks after the surgery. Like, I mean, it's a new ACL, so my leg should be working well. It's just like getting my range of motion back and reducing the swelling. I actually went to go see my physiotherapist today. It's a new physiotherapist that I'm seeing. And he said, like, I was reading that you had your surgery in January, and like when I saw you walk in, I was like, oh, I was impressed to see how well you're doing, and I was like, thank you so
Nice.
much. I've been very diligent in my recovery and my exercises, so yeah, so it's been good. It's been good. So we're getting there, slowly getting to normal, which will take a while, but it's going there.
like I know it might be a little bit different for high performance sports athletes, pro sports guys, in terms of like their confidence in some of the moves that they used to make, some just everyday things.
Mm-hmm.
Is that did you have to go through some of that? Is that something that you're still kind of dealing with?
Early on, it was like, oh, I just was really careful with my knee, and then I saw my surgeon for a follow up. It's like, oh yeah, you don't have to use your brace anymore. Oh, like maybe next week we can get off the crutches. And I was like, oh, you don't say. And that really
Don't mind if I do.
don't mind if I do, because like I think I need that voice of confidence from like the experts, from like my surgeon, my physiotherapist. Like, oh, like yeah, you can like start doing more, and you can start doing this. And when I got that voice of confidence from them, I'm like, okay, let's do it then. And so like it's been a lot of pushing myself to do more and more, and to get to a place where I'm pushing myself like to limits of like it hurts a bit, but I need to do this so I can get my knee better. And it's like my physiotherapist today, like for like surgeries like this, like for an ACL surgery, it's good to be aggressive or have early aggressive rehab put in place to get things going. So it's been going good. Can't complain. God's good.
God's good.
I'm here
Nice.
today with a fresh new
God's
ACL,
good.
ready to take on the world. So yeah,
Ready to play
That's like-
ball.
man, I haven't played ball in so long, and that's what I'm excited about, to have confidence in my knee to do cuts and stuff, what I never used to do before because I was too scared to do it. So yeah,
How long were you dealing with your former ACL?
For my ACL, I've had knee problems for like so many years, but when I had my MRI scan last year, in the summer, and then I saw my surgeon in September, he said, oh, like you tore your ACL 2 years ago. And I was like, oh. So I was like, I had a
Wow.
torn ACL since 2020. It's been kind of crazy. Like my knee would give out here and there. Some days I'll just like wake up with a sore knee. It's not painful, but it's kind of sore. I was like, yeah, it's like I just have bad knees. That's what I just thought it was. I need to like work out and strengthen my knee. So, but then lo and behold, it was a torn ACL.
By the way,
Yeah. So that's like the big thing that happened to me over the break. Yeah, the most biggest thing I would say.
Noise.
nice.
Yep.
For me, okay, so I was talking to Mark. For me, there isn't going to be a whole lot. In terms of like exciting things happen, I've just thrown for a while now. Most of my effort, to my family, raising them, making sure I provide for them, teaching them whatever limited knowledge and wisdom that I have with whatever limited opportunities that I get. I'm just trying to be a positive influence for them, particularly for the two smaller ones as they grow, right? And then trying to be a support for Jel. And then AJ, as he's trying to figure out, his directions as he reaches out and explores and takes chances and stuff. And so just trying to be there for them. Before, I used to, when I didn't have all of that, in my younger years when I was with you guys, I do a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, the younger years when I had the energy, when I had the opportunity, you go on mission trips, you do, you put together choirs, you lead.
When we all thought you were an extrovert.
When you all thought I was an extrovert.
That's
surprise. Yeah,
surprise.
Surprise. I don't want so I don't have that. I don't have that drive anymore to do things, to be more, because I think I've lived that, and so while I must decrease while y'all increase. So
wow,
it's your times.
Man, we all must
You're not
decrease.
worthy.
So God will
The father of all fathers,
Not
except for
even
the father.
one.
The father of
Not
all
even.
fathers, except for the
father of all
father.
earthly fathers.
Except for the father.
There are some times, there are some days you wake up and I'm like, I'm a really good dad. I'm crushing it. Right. And then there are other days you wake up and it's just like, how are my kids still alive? Why are they not in jail?
Wow.
Why, and you just feel like you're doing a terrible job, and truth is somewhere in the middle. Right? You do the best that you can, and with what you're given, try to be a role model for them in terms of my relationship with God, to try to influence, to show them that there is, that you can do this in real life, and it's not just something that you do on the weekends.
It's true.
Right? And so I've just been trying to focus on that. I mean, we did go off to the States for about a week. So that was fun. I do miss, I mean, I haven't done long driving and I enjoy it a lot. So that was nice for me. That was a good treat for me. And other than that, yeah, just life, I guess. Work, cook, help with the kids, and do what you can. That's it.
The domesticated life.
Domesticated life. I'm all about it. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have no desire to, do more. I mean, I love doing this podcast because it's pretty chill. I show up and I speak my mind, and hopefully it's not embarrassing to myself or to my family, or especially God.
With your hot takes.
With my hot takes. Terrible.
You never have hot takes.
Oh, God, are you sure
You
about that?
never have hot
I'm pretty
takes.
sure. I'm pretty sure I was like, I felt pretty bad about that whole like tipping and waiter stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
Hey
pretty
man,
wild.
just your conviction, man. It is what it is.
I was so mad. I don't know why I got so upset with the whole situation.
I mean, it is
But yeah.
it's getting out of hand now.
Yeah, I came back. Hey, like there's some things on the news that, the tipping culture, some of that spotlight has come back to it. So I don't know. I'm not saying I'm feeling vindicated about it, but just, yeah. I would say that it was a worthy topic for us to talk about.
True.
Right.
It's almost
So-
reached its tipping point.
Has it? I haven't been keeping up.
Get it? tipping point.
Oh my goodness, really? I miss this about you, Mark.
Man, that's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
All right.
So yeah, that's pretty much me.
Cool. I feel like there's a lot that happened with me. So I started a blog, right?
What?
Like a personal blog.
Okay.
It's on Medium, medium.com /@Marc Katangay.
Ooh, shameless
Hey.
plug.
We'll include it in the show notes.
Yes.
Right now I'm experiencing writer's block, which is annoying. But yeah, I've started it, and because of that, the cat's out of the bag. I'm not in, like my ministry has taken a different direction.
The cat.
I've said the story, right? Like here in this podcast. But it wasn't Facebook official, but through my blog, I released the story of, like finding the direction of the journey of finding my true calling, and where I am and where I'm currently at is where I feel fulfilled with house churches and online and digital ministry. So yeah, that happened. I received positive responses.
Hey.
So praise God for that. But yeah. Another one would be, I guess, just trying to find so mid-December I found a podcast on personal finance, which is great because it's called Personal Finance Podcast with Andrew, I think is his name, which is good because it's so good because he has a lot of energy. So you're kind of more engaged in listening. He captivates you, right? Like he captures your attention. So
You're infotained.
yeah, so you're infotained. It's like short episodes, like maybe it started off short, so like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So your attention span isn't like, oh, this is so long. Whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that influenced me in my journey of starting to just save and be more frugal in life and try to pay off debt so that later we can, invest money so that when retirement comes, it'll be good. I hopefully, I don't know if I'll be able to retire early, but hopefully, like I would be, through God's grace and through diligent saving and investing and paying off debt as much as possible. Like we won't, rely on CPP, like Canadian Pension Plan or whatever. I do have a pension with UPS, but I also don't want to rely on that. But yeah, so just an interesting journey so now we're trying to pay off as much debt as possible. So we've stopped eating out as much. We've stopped.
I was about to say, did you cut out 100%? Like eating?
No. The thing is, like, Ramsey. If you ever listen to
Dave Ramsey.
Dave
Ramsey, the Ramsey the Ramsey show. They're kind of. I understand where they're coming from in trying to get people out of debt, and it has gotten millions of people out of debt. His plan, but it's just like a little too extreme for me and for us. So it's like stop eating out, cut off your credit card. So it's like be debt free, right? But it's like for us, like we don't want to. Or also, they're also big on like while you're on the paying off debt portion of their plan, it's like you're gonna say no to your friends. Going out, you're gonna say no to people wanting to eat out or like, but I think Jenna and I talked about is like we don't want to sacrifice relationships just to become out of debt. So we're gonna try to be as frugal as possible without sacrificing eating out, because eating out is kind of like, with friends, like for me it feels sanctified, like having having time just eating and sharing a table and talking through a meal. That's like a holy space for me, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's where a lot of ideas come out. That's where a lot of, I guess, confession and just like encouragement and rebuke comes in my life, at least. So Jana and I talked about it. It's like we don't want to sacrifice that. So we're still gonna eat out, like if we get invited out. But for the most part, it's like we're not gonna waste our money just because we feel lazy cooking, right? So we've started cooking more. Like for the most part, it's like we eat, like we order maybe Burger King on Wednesdays because
Ooh,
it's
that's being frugal.
Whopper
That's being
Wednesdays,
frugal.
yo.
Yeah.
Whopper Wednesdays. So yeah, so just like trying to save more money, trying to pay off debt. So trying to build that emergency fund.
Yeah, man.
But it's been good. It's been good. Like God has been so faithful.
Yay.
Yeah. Woohoo. Once a month worship service has been really good. I mean, you guys, Billy's the worship leader there. So
Hey.
you guys know
Worship
that
leader?
already.
Oh, that's
Hey.
So our like our group of small group network, it kind of like fell naturally, which is like such a God thing. Like it's not like we because it's been I feel like God just pushed us, right? Like do it already, right? like for example, the smaller group that Alan and I have, with our significant others, like our group, right? Like we were talking about it for like weeks or months, like starting it, and then eventually your wife just messaged us like, guys, let's start a group. So that's how we get started. So it's like we were talking about it, but then God just encouraged Gel to message us, all of us, to just start a group, and that's when it happened. And then the same thing too with this once a month worship. It was like in the plans for so long, and then COVID hit, and then we're trying to ramp it up again, and then it just so happens it's like God just dropped another group like in our laps, not in our laps, but like in our vicinity, right?
Yeah.
So through talking with a friend, Peter and Patricia, like the group, the leaders of another group, they also were looking for a group to have worship with. And so when finally after COVID hit, we haven't had dinner with them or talked with them for like maybe 2 years, like since 2019 2019. And then all of a sudden we had dinner 2022, and then we mentioned like, oh, we also planned this, and then they're like, oh, but we're having a hard time because we don't have a place. And then Peter and Patricia are just like, let's just use our place. so it's just like, so that's been happening. So that has accelerated it. And I feel like it's just a God thing, right? Although because a part of that group, right? Like that group, half of that group is part of the group that we were in and trying to start a church before, but with God's will, it didn't work out. And so it just feels like God, in God's wisdom, he gave us like 3 years apart and then put us all together again to, I don't know what God's plan is, but right now it's great. So once a month worship service is going pretty well.
There you go.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. Oh, Jana's reselling now. So she's
man.
So she's
a reseller.
She's
a business man.
She's a business. She's an entrepreneur.
Nice.
So she's into eBay and Poshmark, just selling clothes or like antique stuff or vintage stuff.
Nice.
Anything you can
my gosh.
think of. And yeah, it's keeping us afloat because
Amen.
right now she's only, we're living off my salary and her EI, but with eBay and Poshmark and all that and Etsy, we're able to experience God's providence. And I'm thinking of getting into Amazon. I just ordered charging cables.
Ooh.
To sell.
Yeah.
So we'll test it out, see how it does.
Man.
Okay.
The
But
nice entrepreneurs. Look at
side
you
hustles,
guys.
yo.
Side hustles,
Side
man.
hustles.
The side hustles.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's any more from you guys?
Oh, I feel like I've done nothing else in the light of all you've done. The past 3
It's just
Hey, but I've been decapacitated.
That is, man.
you're an IR.
You got
I've been IR. Yeah, right. You gotta do. I'm on the IR list.
LTIR, long-term injured reserve.
I gotta put on the disabled list for like more than 90 days.
All right, so it's been 90 days since we met up. It's been 3 months since we last did our podcast. So during those 3 months, when it comes to current events, have you guys had any noteworthy things that caught your attention that you want to briefly discuss, and maybe make it a separate episode later? Just discuss it here, just to see what you guys been.
Sure. Well, we are going to talk about this tonight at some point, right? And so I've just been enamored with this idea of the rise of AI. Starting with ChatGPT, and there's been other sort of like AI that's coming through, but now that it's gaining like a lot of steam, and there's talk that it's sort of like the new wave during this information age. What the iPhone did, what the internet did, what the .coms did. This is sort of like the next thing, right? And so I'm excited to see where that goes. It's a little scary and stuff, because part of it is like people freaking out. Is my job going to be rendered
that's
useless
scary.
because
an
AI is going to take over, or at least somebody that's using AI will take over multiple jobs because the efficiency of that person. And so when we're talking about AI, we're not only talking about writing content, but like art form, artwork.
Yeah, you can ask. There's some AI that you can ask to like illustrate, right? Like to draw.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Midjourney, Stable Diffusion.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that's coming out, and really this whole idea, like the Google, the AI wars between the two big heavyweights now that Microsoft has taken over OpenAI and ChatGPT and starting to incorporate with them, and then Google just came out at this recording today. They came out with ChatGPT 4 or GPT-4, and then and Google's saying, oh yeah, we've got a whole bunch of AI stuff that we're gonna just drop into like our docs and our sheets and all the pictures, like the slides that they make. They're just gonna casually put it on where some of these other companies, that's their whole business model, right? To try to do AI so that you can make your work in Microsoft Word or Google Docs so much simpler and so much whatever.
Yeah.
And those guys just casually dropped it in, like, we're going to take over this whole thing. Right? So it's an interesting war that's different from the other war that I've been following, sort of the war in Ukraine and stuff. So
yeah. I think it was like I was on TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok. When I was in recovery phase, when I was just like lying down in a couch scrolling through TikTok, and I just stumbled, I got into like AI art generation and things like that. And there's this guy who I think he's in marketing or something like that, and a graphic designer. So he literally just puts in like, oh, make like this candle design and da 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 da, and he just generates like stock photos for a brand. You just put your brand name on there, and then boom, you have your images for like your new brand. And it's so easy, like makes it in 5 seconds. Well, not 5 seconds, but it's just like I see it from a graphic design standpoint where it's gonna be interesting on that point because it might be easier for graphic designers because they can come up with more ideas. Like, oh, just make this logo for like this new burger chain with this type of theme and da 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 da, and then it'll come up with like concepts. So you don't really have to think, you just like see ideas and then oh, let me just like tune it up and fix it up a bit. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. And also, I was just on Reddit on like some of those like Mid-Journey like subreddits, and it's just funny what they just they render up. It's just like random funny things like it was like I think it was like Homer Simpson. Oh no, was it Homer Simpson? Homer Simpson, but you put him in different like in different styles. Like oh, Homer Simpson in The Office or Homer Simpson in Family Guy. I'm like oh, it's so fun. But like you're right. There's like a whole like dark side of like AI and where it can go. I think when I heard about AI, I was like, shoot, is my job at risk? Is my job at risk? I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, there's that one. One thing that I did kind of start like delving into, not just delving into, but I guess this is like your question on what did we discover. So there's this neurophysiologist, it's a neuro guy. His name is Huberman. So he's got like this podcast, and so he's been gaining momentum, gaining popularity and stuff, and has like all sorts of. He's been doing a bunch of stuff on neurology and sleep and intermittent fasting and weight loss and just concentration, just a whole bunch of stuff that we're not always looking heavily into, just because sometimes it have like when we're talking about the brain and the mind and the connections with our body and stuff, sometimes we just leave that to the experts or sort of like the highbrow conversations that are out there, right? But he seems to be able to give it in a digestive manner so that it appeals to the masses. So that's what he's kind of been blowing up with. And so I kind of discovered him and maybe want to talk about some of the things that he's been talking about as well. So,
I like that.
Maybe we can pull out some of his stuff. Like sleep is starting to like creep on me. And I guess when I get up now, as I get up in this old age, sleep is now a thing that I want.
Sleep.
And just trying to,
Wow. It's like human optimization through this, right? Like,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I've always wanted sleep.
So yeah, that's what I've been sort of like, been drawn to for the past month or so.
That's cool.
Wow, we have such cool interests. What am I interested
philosophical.
in? I know. What am I interested in?
Python and coding, but that's about it.
That's a whole different... Are you telling us you're trying to make a career change into coding?
No, I just found it really interesting that you can automate some stuff just by putting some code in. And so with this whole idea with AI and maybe I can just, make my life just a little bit easier. And so.
Interesting.
So. That's it. Sorry. Continue somebody else.
Oh, I love hearing your interest because I reflect on what I've been interested in the past 3 months, and it hasn't been a lot.
Well, your interest is getting your knee back. That's
seriously, getting my knee better. Yeah, I've actually been super interested recently in the World Baseball Class.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. World Baseball Classic.
Yeah. I was. Just recently, like it was Canada versus Mexico, and whoever won that game was gonna go to the semifinals, and Canada hasn't made it to the semifinals at all, and we lost to Mexico like 10-3, and I was like, yeah, I expected that. Yeah, Mexico has a lot of good MLB players on it, and like we have like Freddie Freeman who got injured, and then a
Oh,
bunch
no.
of like minor leaguers and some like MLB, like not even a lot of MLB players. That's been interested in. So I'm following Japan because they're Asian. So go Japan.
Go
I'm,
Japan.
I'm rooting for the
Nippon.
Dominican Republic because of Vladdy.
'Cause
Go
of Vlad.
DR. Oh, but Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico are facing each other right now. I was like, oh, who do I root for? Because Jose Barrios is on like the Puerto Rico,
Man,
in which
Barrios.
he stunk really bad when he pitched for Puerto Rico, and I was like, oh no, I'm stressed. But yeah, I've just been interested in baseball. Oh, and actually try to like, I'm like, oh, I want to get into hockey now. So I'm trying to watch hockey, but I haven't watched a hockey game yet.
I mean, the Leafs are all in right now.
Yeah,
They
I've just
are
Toronto Maple
like
Leafs.
I have zero clue. Like I've just been seeing, oh, there's so many trades going on. I love trades because when the NBA trade deadline comes around, I'm like, oh, I love trades. I love chaos. And then when I saw like the Leafs were trading a bunch of people, I'm like, I feel like we're doing something. So maybe I'll finally start watching. I told that to myself when the season started. I have not. And now it's like the NFL free agency. Now I'm following the NFL free agency. I'm like, oh, am I gonna watch football this year? Because we watched the Super Bowl at my house when the Super Bowl happened, and I was like,
Yeah.
man, I love sports, but like I have no time to watch any of these sports. Yeah, that's terrible. That's what I've been interested in, just sports. That's what kind of like when Savannah was born, like when I was on paternity leave. That's why I got into the Blue Jays because there's just a lot of free time. So we're just
Sure.
sitting and watching the Blue Jays, sitting watching just sports. But now I have a life with routine, so now I can't be like that anymore. So maybe new
I'm
interests will
sure
start
you'll
to
find
peak.
a way to like. You'll slide it in somewhere. I'm sure you will.
But also sleep. So
Oh, and sleep.
I mean,
Yeah.
just take the subway down from Toronto General Hospital to Union Station.
go watch a quick game.
Yeah.
So close.
Wow.
So close.
But I need to be frugal like Mark, you know?
Right?
I
Oh,
need to be
man.
frugal.
Oh, because you're trying to come up with a down payment, right?
Nice. Really?
God's. Oh yeah. Oh, that's like kind of came up. We're praying about like thinking about getting a bigger place.
Yeah,
But yeah,
sure.
we're in the same situation. Like we're living off my salary, and Isabel's on EI. She's gonna go back to work in October, so we're just praying for God's will, and it's gonna be like a year-long prayer because we still don't know. We know it's not gonna be now, but we're praying.
Okay.
Like, I'm praying, like, oh, maybe if this is the year, end of the year, we'll see. So we'll see what God leads us this year. If we're gonna live in the small apartment, which I love it so much. It's nice, it's cozy, it's easy, or move to a bigger place. So we'll see. We will see.
What are you thinking of? Like a 3-bedroom? 2-bedroom?
Probably 2-bedroom, because
A house
3-bedroom
in
would be
King
way
City.
too expensive. Yeah, unless we move far away, but I do not want to move far away.
King City, bro.
Oh,
King City,
it's
bro.
so far. Oh,
There's a
it's
GO train
too
here.
far. Oh, it's so far. One of the plus of living here is that my in-laws live like down the street, like a 5-minute
right.
drive less.
Nice.
So I'm very enticed to not leave this area, and it's easy for both of us to commute to work. So
Sure.
it's very optimized in this area. So it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, housing prices are going down.
Yeah.
So
that means
hopefully-
this house is selling for cheaper. So
That is true. Yes.
so it's like it's the way I see it, like it's all like relative. So the market goes down, price of our house will go down, but the price of house will go down, and vice versa. If everything goes up, well, house will go up. So everything's just relative in my head. So again, but I'm not a real estate agent. I don't know any of these things.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, like our landlord has been trying to sell our place, our unit. Yeah, so our landlord has been trying to sell this unit since November.
No, it's been since November.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Oh no, December.
Oh, but
So,
still, that's like
yeah,
it's
so
3 months.
maybe like 4 months.
Yeah.
But no one's
No one's
biting. I think because our place is really small.
Yeah.
It's like it's a unique spot.
Yeah.
Like
That
it's
balcony,
really
yeah.
bro.
small.
Yeah.
It's really
That
small,
balcony.
but the balcony is huge.
Humongous.
And so I think people are coming in and it's like, oh, it's so small. But then they don't want to step out into the balcony because it's cold. So they don't fully immerse
in how small
get-
your living space is.
They don't get trapped into the balcony. So
It's true.
so yeah, and then people, I think like he priced it too high,
Mm.
but now it's dropped. So he dropped the price like a little bit. So yeah, and the interest rates is crazy high right now.
Yeah, it's
so,
crazy. It's tough out there.
So people don't really want to buy right now. So
Yeah. It's not.
it's tough to buy. Although they tell you just get in, right? Like
They do say that.
stop timing the market. Like if you're in a place to buy, just buy, and then later on it's good. Just refinance, right?
Yeah.
Like once the interest rates drop, you can always
yeah.
refinance. So yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's maybe another thing. Like we're trying to look for a new place.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Like a bigger, like maybe those old school apartments where there's more space.
Yeah. With the
That
parquet
would be
wood
good.
floors.
Yeah, the parquet wood floors. Like I don't know.
I
think,
that's
like,
that apartment.
I
That's
think-
those old apartments.
I don't know why. Like some people, I've seen people. It's like, oh, we just don't like parquet floors. I'm like, it's flooring.
Yeah, it's flooring.
Put a
seriously.
carpet.
Yeah,
Put a carpet over
Put a
if you don't
rug
like it so
over it. You're
much.
fine.
At least you
Yeah.
have 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms.
It's like
Who
rent
cares
control
about your
too,
parquet?
right? So
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do. Like get into a rent controlled space. 'Cause
Yeah.
rent's
Rent's
crazy.
going crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
In which your landlord has been really kind in not raising your prices, right, for your rent.
Yeah. He's
What a
been
blessing.
really like
Mhm.
we've been really blessed in that regard. That's why we're not moving until he sells it,
Yeah.
because then we're saving crazy money.
Yeah, seriously.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Because I pray for you guys, and then I look like, and then I look at the rentals out what are out there. And I'm like, oh no, it's tough out there. It's tough.
But then like
It's really
sometimes
tough.
I regret it too. Like
Yeah.
maybe we shouldn't have stayed because it's going up.
It's going up. Oh yeah,
So it's like hindsight 2020, right?
that's true.
But, God's got us.
Exactly. Yeah. I believe. I have faith.
There's some
This-
still reasonably priced apartments out there.
For sure.
So we're still looking.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh, one more thing. This is random. One more thing we've been into is about Well, we used to be under our parents like Netflix. That got canceled, and we're like, oh shoot, we have no more TV shows to watch. So we've just been watching movies, and that's been kind of fun. Like we're having like movie nights all the time now.
Nice.
And we've just been watching Creed, like the Creed. We watched
Really?
Creed
Yeah,
1
okay.
and 2. Fun time. And now we're gonna go watch Creed 3 on Friday.
There you go.
That's something we're into, I guess. Creed, definitely highly recommend. What a great movie series so far.
Yeah. It's just too bad Stallone is not in the last one.
Oh, he isn't? I was like looking at the trailer. I'm like, oh, is he gonna be like a surprise or something?
Is he mad about that? Like I heard.
I think
like,
I think
thought
so. I think there's
There's some drama with that.
Yeah, I think there's just like creative differences, and like Michael B. Jordan just wanted to take the direction a different way.
Man, that's so sad. Because in the first 2 movies, like it's like they're such a cute couple, in the sense that they're a good buddy thing that they have going on. Hey Young, so good, and now to not hear he's not in the third one, it's really sad.
But I love Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
Like he's a really good actor. Okay, so just a couple things that piqued my interest. One is the Asbury revival.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
That's been so
happened.
interesting to
Oh my
follow,
gosh.
and like people's reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was more intrigued as people's reactions, right? So- like I praise God that, you know, there's revivals. Like people were singing like in the wee hours of the night, right? And it's just continuous prayer, continuous singing, to the point where people went there from out of town to visit it. So for those who didn't know, the Asbury revival started because a certain university, like in a campus, they invited a speaker for to to speak, and then he spoke on experiencing God's love and receiving God's love. And after that sermon, and it's kind of interesting because he didn't feel like when he was preparing for it, he felt like it was one of his worst sermons. And then he preached it, and then his appeal was like if I recall correctly, his appeal was like who here wants to experience God or hasn't really fully experienced God's love and wants to. And a small group of people, like maybe in the teens or the 20, I think they went up, and then so the pastor prayed for them, and after they stayed after the service, and they just kept praying and kept singing songs, and then they started to like text their classmates like, hey, this is still going on, come back, like we're just singing here, join us, we're still worshiping. And so the classmates came, and then it went full blown, just like people just kept singing, people just kept praying, and then people from out of town, religious leaders started to notice, and so people visited, and it was like a whole event, right? And to the point where it's like it was like a burden on the campus because of parking. And then certain, well-known, I don't want to say Christian celebrities because they're not really but like more well-known Christians, like kind of like went there and tried to like lead worship, like Sean Foyt, right? This right-wing worship leader. He tried to go there and it's like, hey, like, do you mind if I lead worship? And then they said no, there's like students only student led. So, and even like they didn't ask other people from out of town to preach or like to share anything. It's just completely student led. It was totally organic. So that was interesting. And then people, from both sides are like, this is not real. The more skeptical, more traditional leaning Christians is like, this is not real. And then there's like those people who want to, highlight it, and it's like, oh, the movement of God is here. We can feel him moving. We can feel him, touching people's hearts. So it's just interesting it's, like America is so polarized. It's like, there's nothing that they can agree on. And
I mean, we're going to talk about this, right? We're going to have an episode on it, right?
I mean, we should talk about it. Like which one? Like the revival?
All of it, like the whole sort of
thing
about
we
it.
could talk about it. And then so that resulted in like sort of like revival envy from others.
Revival envy.
So
that sounds accurate.
Yeah. So we see like other people like, oh, like we're encouraging our students to have like like an extended season of prayer or something like that, so that hoping to get a revival or something like that. But then there's also like, you can either be jealous or be inspired, right? So others are like being inspired and to just to naturally go with their group and pray and confess their sins with each other and just sing songs and worship. And I think that's beautiful. Don't be jealous, be inspired. So yeah, so that was it. That was really interesting. I was following that for a bit. Another thing was, I don't know if you guys heard, but it's like there's this whole ruckus online, especially with the Gospel Coalition. So the Gospel Coalition is just this network of theologians and pastors and church leaders, and it's like a website, right? And there's like articles they write, and then there's like resources and videos. So this one guy, I don't know if you've heard of, like Pastor Josh Butler. The name sounded familiar to me when I heard the name. He released an article that kind of took the metaphor of Jesus and the church being his bride too far.
Interesting.
And
explain.
So too far.
How far is too
In
far?
a way,
I'm nervous.
Should I be asking that question?
So in a way that equated. So he equated the language of the bride and groom, and started, took it further and got into sexual stuff.
Ooh.
Right. So
Okay.
So Julie Roy's so it's called so the article kind of like was written to promote his upcoming book, The Beautiful Union. So one passage of it was like the groom goes into his bride in explicit terms, referring to the sanctuary of his spouse, where the groom bestows an offering, a gift. So Butler, he continued the metaphor, saying the wife gladly receives the warmth of his presence. Similarly, the church embraces Christ in salvation. So it's like,
I mean,
it went. No, it's just like the metaphor, the language.
Yeah.
The language was never designed to be taken that far.
Interesting,
right? Like, so
I'm stealing that from you.
So it's like
interesting.
So what he was saying is just like, it's kind of like the intercourse between a man and a woman.
Yes,
it's like Jesus going into the church. Like, is that picture of the gospel?
All right.
And it's like, it's caused so much controversy that I think the pastor, so he was part of the Keller Center for Cultural Apologetics.
Yeah.
And now he has now resigned. So because it was just so controversial, right? So
I'm here for it.
No, it's not sexual. It was never meant to be taken away.
Man.
So like when
boy.
It's like
that's
the
so
biblical
good.
language, right? And
Sure.
like people
boy.
like there's certain parts of a metaphor that is just designed to describe one thing.
Sure.
And
sure.
so you don't call Jesus so that thing that is described by the metaphor
Exactly.
is not at all similar in every way.
Yeah,
So-
you're like overreaching into the
Yeah,
metaphor.
so
Like,
you're-
let's see what else we can find in
It
this.
ain't that deep, man. It ain't.
Yeah, exactly.
That's deep.
Doesn't go that
It's
far.
just a picture of marriage and where like there's a union, like there's a bond, and Jesus treasures the wife.
And
so
it's a
in
different
way
relationship than other relationships that we have, right? It's supposed to be special.
that it's never
So
meant to be
interesting.
taken in a
Interesting.
sexual way.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh, this
So
makes
that
me
was-
want to like.
That was interesting. That was hilarious. And then like there's just like so much reaction to it. And it's just like you just wonder, like, how did editors not catch that and still, like, how did the Gospel Coalition not catch that and still release the article? So it has since been deleted.
Oh man! Well, it's archived somewhere. I gotta read it now.
If it's on the internet, it's somewhere out there.
It's somewhere. I gotta find it now. I want to just see the language that he used now. It's just so interesting.
But yeah, so yeah, like when you say Jesus is like a thief of the night, like it's just that
thief, right?
it's just that
He's a
one
straight
aspect.
Trying to steal something from you.
It's just that one aspect is that he comes unsuspected,
Unexpectedly, yeah.
right? It's not like he's trying to steal from you, right?
Jesus is gonna steal
when you
away.
say Jesus is the Lamb of God, it's not saying that Jesus is an animal or whatever. Like Jesus,
we shouldn't worship the holy lamb, so we shouldn't eat lamb. This sounds like a segment called Bad Theology, where we overreach into biblical metaphors.
Yeah. So.
Do we have enough to make that a segment?
I don't know. That's like,
Yeah.
I think we do.
That's so
Goes along with the seriously screwed up stories.
seriously, man.
Yeah, it's just so that was interesting.
I'm here for it. That's good.
It's pretty funny.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing else. That you
So just one thing that I sort of also been getting into. So the James Webb Telescope thing has been coming up with interest. So it's sort of like the successor to the Hubble telescope, right?
Sure. Okay.
Right, and so it's
the
been coming up.
successor.
Yeah, so it's much more advanced than the Hubble telescope.
Okay.
Powerful.
It can see far. Yeah, it's more powerful. It can see farther, and so they've been coming up with they've been uncovering some really interesting. There's that word again. Interesting. Sort of things that are out in space, and I'm just started just touching and delving a little bit into astrophysics and all of that stuff. Like they found like galaxies that shouldn't be there. That with the current model of the Big Bang, it's not supposed to exist, right?
Okay.
So like there are places that are older than the universe that it shouldn't, like whatever. Yeah. So like honestly, ever since we had that apologetics sort of episode, it's been keeping tabs on stuff like that. So interesting. Yeah. So I've been delving into that as well. So
nice.
Okay.
I'm intrigued. I don't have
I'm
enough
intrigued
to like actually talk on it with any kind of authority, but a lot of interesting things that kind of help bolster, my faith and the confidence that I have in the scriptures and the creation story and stuff. So, yeah,
You've got me
interesting.
I wonder how they come up with like the age. Like, how do they know it's older than?
Oh yeah.
The universe
so yeah. So everything that they know about the universe, I mean, just about everything that they know about the distant universe, like stuff that's outside of our solar system, they've got basically one piece of information, right? They base it all on how they view and how they understand other galaxies, which are billions of light years away. So it's interesting that they can infer all of this information, all of these theories, all of this sort of like worldview from something that's so far away that they can't actually, touch it. Right? So there's stuff like the other galaxies. There's other things called like the CMB, so the cosmic microwave background that was supposedly, was there in, around the beginning of the Big Bang, which is, I don't know, like 400,000 years after that it exploded. I have no idea. So it's just, there's a lot of interest. The more I delve into it, the more that there are inconsistencies that I never knew that was there, that's passed off like as the solid wall of information, of like facts that are there. Right. And so, yeah, it's just day by day, my confidence, not confidence, but my my respect for astrophysics and the
For
Big Bang
Neil-
Theory is
Neil
just
deGrasse
starting to go.
Tyson.
Well, here's the thing. Like, okay, so we get hammered for like believing in space and in Sky Daddy, right? In Sky Father. That's sort of like the
Love that guy.
derogative that we get accused
yeah.
for. Oh, he's Sky Daddy and stuff. Dude, you're like one of your heroes.
I love that.
Like Neil, like he believes in aliens. There's no evidence of it, and yet he
Yeah.
still believes that they're there. Why are you making fun of us that we don't have evidence for it when there's a bunch of things that you guys don't have evidence for? So I mean, it. I think I've said this before, but it makes total sense. I probably would have gone towards that sort of worldview if I didn't believe that there was a God. Right? That's a logical. So people that are dealing with this, that are trying to prove and disprove and come up with different theories about the creation of the universe, that seems like a logical. They're not stupid, right? They're not idiots. They have thinking, rational, complex, ability to digest complex theories and understandings and concepts. But when you put it up against the concept of there's a God, yeah, just like, really, like, okay, you can believe in that, but let's get it straight. It's a religion that you guys are peddling, right? You have to take things with faith, and some of it with a lot of faith. Right?
Yeah.
And
Like-
it just
like
seems,
everything.
yeah, like everything. Like so hey, I'm not going to begrudge you if you believe in that, but don't disparage us because there's no physical evidence for it, or that's sort of the claim.
Sure.
When you're doing hypocritically the same thing, except our worldview isn't based on the idea that, hey, we believe things because we can prove them. Right. So
Yeah.
Dang.
that's sort of like my rant on it.
I've been powered.
I am
Like,
convicted.
I'm trying not to be disparaging to the people that believe it because, that's, I don't know what their situation is. Maybe they didn't grow up in a home that taught, beliefs in, the metaphysical, not only just Christians and stuff. Right. And I don't know. I mean, it just seems that a lot of the things that we get dinged for as a religion, as a denomination, things that whatever you guys, you don't have, like, if you're talking about science, you have no capabilities to even mention or talk about it because your whole box of understanding comes within the space-time matter continuum. How are you going to comment on somebody that is on something that's outside of it? You really can't. It's like a plumber trying to tell us, trying to explain or discover energy or electricity with only his tools. Right?
With a
You
pipe.
just don't have the capability of doing it. Right?
With a PVC pipe.
With a PVC pipe. You can't, I mean, let's be honest, you just don't have the tools for it.
That
Right?
is true.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Wow. So powerful. All from a
Sorry.
telescope.
All from
All from a telescope.
Yeah, that's cool though. Like people seeing more of the universe out there, right?
yeah.
There's some like people trying to like look for heaven.
Wait.
I'm like,
They're never gonna
oh,
find it. God's not
never gonna
allowing it.
find it.
Interesting.
God's never gonna allow it because that's part of the whole thing of why we're here, and
Yeah.
it's so we can make choices about whether to follow, God or our own sort of standard, because that's basically what it boils down to, right? Without any kind of like him showing up, because if he shows up, we're just gonna follow him out of fear because he's so much bigger and greater and stronger than us.
True.
right? Or at least that's the accusation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Satan did that with Job. That's pretty much what he is with us, right? So they're never gonna find it. Although I find it so interesting, so interesting. The best part of this whole idea is that science can only so the estimates is that 5% of the universe is only made up of matter, the stuff that we can see and measure and stuff. Everything else is dark matter and dark energy. That's 95%. So you're telling me the reality that you're espousing, you're getting it from 5% of what reality is. Right? Like, how are you going to tell me based on like that little sliver of information what everything else is supposed to be like? So, anyways, that was my rant.
You're such a thinker, man.
No, don't think like this whatsoever.
Enneagram 5.
Oh my gosh. I feel like my brain doesn't even think.
Sorry.
Enneagram 5.
No, it's good. It's educating. It's like, 'cause these are things I would never think about in my life. Such an apologist, you know?
I am so sorry, yeah.
Oh man, I love
philosopher.
it. Philosopher.
maybe
We appreciate you
Yeah.
bringing this in our group.
Because who else would bring it up?
All right. So that's
cool,
my time.
man. That's cool. All right, let's move on. Just to share, like, what you're looking forward to this year. What are your goals? Just share some of your goals by the end of this year that you want to accomplish.
My spiritual goal, because I've just talked about it, like sort of delving into other things other than the gospel. Right. I mean, it's all connected, but just to go back to being more impacted by the gospel than just the thinking philosophical aspects of the Bible. Right. And so I'm gonna try to give systematic theology a break for now and just
live it
and just be moved by the gospel again. And just have that sort of move me and guide me and find a way to like just be more in awe of God, and not in the philosophical way, but just.
Do songs help you?
Tough, because so as a singer, you know, the performance aspect always is in the background. As much as you say, you know, this is all about me just praising God and giving glory to Him and shining the spotlight on Him. If you're a serious singer or a semi-serious singer and you sing in front of people, there's always going to be that performance aspect of you that's there. And so, yeah, trying to do things like worship, like songs, reading, you know, spending time in the world, and hacking my brain in the morning, because it's understood that around the first 20 minutes of just waking up, you have certain types of brain waves, brain patterns that allows you to be more susceptible to what you're thinking. So you can talk about it, you can think about sort of like that, and that's, you know, that helps become ingrained in you and stuff. So I'm going to try to do stuff like that. I'm trying to. It's hard to, though.
First 20 minutes for me is trying to make myself a cup of joe.
Oh my gosh.
Which, by the way,
that's so good.
So Andrew Huberman talks about like the whole idea of, hey, if you wake up, you probably want to wait on drinking a cup of coffee first thing in the morning. It has to do with certain receptors that you have. And so if you wait about 90 minutes.
90 minutes?
But that's too long.
If you wait about 90 minutes, so an hour and a half, if you wait about 90 minutes, you won't have that energy crash in the afternoon.
Man, it's so sad because I've heard this so many times, but I'm like, dang, I just can't. I just need it's too ingrained. The routine's too ingrained because
I wake
I
up
need
90
that gossip
minutes
juice.
before work.
Exactly. I wake up an hour before I leave the house. So for that to happen, actually, I could do it. I think I did it once where I was actually late for work, so I had to make coffee and then take it to go. So
Sure.
it delayed in that sense, but
Sure.
it's so ritualistic at this point, you know. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I'll do it. So like
Give it a try.
I usually wake up at 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
What
Okay.
does that mean? So 9. Just take it to work, I guess.
Yeah, take it
to work.
Drink it in the subway.
The other thing you can do if while you're sort of trying to wake up and stuff,
Uh-huh.
and I heard this a long time ago, is that when you take your shower, do a nice hot shower,
Oh,
like
and a cold.
nice hot, because it opens up your
your pores.
your pores, it gets your blood flowing, vasodilates,
Yes.
your whatever, and then switch it to cold, right? Switch it, and you'll wake up, right? And not in a bad way. Like first of all, it'll close up your pores, so all that stuff, starts to get whatever. So it'll wake you up. But the other thing is that not epinephrine, the stuff that makes you happy, endorphins. 5 hours later, it'll still be there. So you'll be yeah. So that's a thing. Right? You get a shot of endorphins, and it pumps up, and it stays around for about 5 hours. So you'll be theoretically happier.
Theoretically.
In a better mood.
What if you don't take a shower?
That's me. I'm a night shower.
Use the coffee. And then baby wipes.
Use the coffee to open your pores.
Over your pores.
Don't
and
drink
then,
it. Yeah.
And then the baby wipes.
And the baby wipes because they're really cold. Yeah.
Or like use the Brita filter.
These are truly the life hacks. This is truly the
life
human
hack
optimization that we've been waiting for. Haven't heard these ones before yet, boys and girls.
Oh.
All right, I'll be trying that.
Yeah, let me
Coffee
know because
thing.
I don't know if it's because I don't drink coffee on a regular basis.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, I only drink it because like I try to stave off my hunger. For
For
fasting.
intermittent fasting. Yeah, I did the same thing
So that's pretty much
in the
it.
day.
So yeah, tell me if it worked because I'm just passing along information that I've heard. So.
All right.
Optimize yourself. Optimize
It's
yourself.
useful.
Adventist has been doing this for hundreds of years. That's right.
Gossip juice.
Gossip juice.
And that's why a
We'll
podcast
see.
is so good because
Wait,
of all
if
the
you
gossip
wait,
juice you drink.
if you wait 90 minutes, does it optimize your gossip abilities?
Maybe I have no idea. I don't think it has anything to do with that, but I think it's just automatically.
Your gossiping tendencies. will
There's
be-
gossiping tendencies.
will be
Probably
switched.
not, but you won't crash. So
Actually,
you'll
yeah.
just keep going.
Yeah, it optimizes your gossiping so you won't crash in the afternoon. So you can continue to gossip in the afternoon as the day goes
Okay,
on.
for those who don't know what we're talking about, refer to our first episode. Basically,
Wow.
there's
Very
a
first one.
there's a
episode.
doctor who who did a study and he concluded that drinking coffee leads to
More gossip.
more gossip.
Gossip.
A bump, an increase in the tendency to gossip.
Wow.
The gossip quotient
The gossip
is increased.
Any more goals from you?
No, I think that's the main one. Other than the obligatory, I need to lose weight.
Sounds nice. Sounds good.
Yes,
So
sounds good.
Sounds nice.
it's not going to happen, but hey, it's nice to have goals.
every year. It's always a goal.
Every year.
It's always a goal.
It just gets worse.
Well, if you if you gain more, you'll just have more to lose.
You have more to work with. You'll be
Yeah.
each of you need to be muscular. Seriously.
Yeah,
A guy
but
like me, I have nothing on my bones, so I have to start from the ground up, you know.
Yeah, but I eventually want to be able to take off my wedding ring, at times.
Oh, true.
How about that? How about that? Right? How about that?
Don't look at the
Bro,
scale. Don't look at your
that's why
BMI. Don't look at your
that's why
fat. Just look
Just
at
know
your ring.
if your wedding
can
ring
pull up
can
your
slip
ring,
on and off. Because if it
that's how you
can't,
know.
there's problems.
Bro, that's why I haven't worn one in years.
Problem solved.
Life hacks.
Life hacks. Optimized.
Oh,
I'm
man.
dead.
Um,
Oh, that's good.
what's my goal? My goal is to pay off as much debt as possible.
Yeah, that too. I'm there with
So
you.
like at least pay off credit card by December. One credit card. So Jenna and I have 3.
Okay.
She has 2, but one has 0 balance on it.
Sounds good.
The other one has some balance, and then mine has a balance. I'm trying to pay off like either hers or mine.
Yeah.
Whoever has the highest interest rate. Unless it's the same.
I think it's the same. 19.
19.
So heavy.
It's rough.
I guess like this is ongoing, but establish the once a month worship service. So like further, I guess further strengthen it and like more organization and all that. Yeah, just to see it go. Excited to see where it goes. The last one for me is to start and work on a YouTube channel.
Ooh.
Another side hustle.
Oh.
Although we have ours, but it's just like
Oh no. Is this how
start-
we split up? Is this how we get
solo career.
So look at I'm joking.
Because like what? So what inspired me? I mean, we can like put it in this channel, but what inspired me is like, I was reading Growing Young, and they have like a lot of materials, like what? Because like a lot of YouTube videos is like talking about like lists, right? Like just episodes like lists, like things, like 5 things you need to do.
5
or
things.
whatever.
Yeah.
So Growing Young has a lot of lists. So like I was thinking of like starting a summation of Growing Young, like different aspects of Growing Young. So the first list is they have is like things you don't need, things that people think you need but you don't actually need for you to grow younger and like attract younger people in a church. So it just like lists that. So like that inspired me. So like maybe I should start my YouTube channel. But I don't know. I already have a blog and I have a writer's block already. So
ChatGPT. Straight up.
Oh, there we go. Here we go.
I guess we'll talk about that later.
Straight up. Either that or Word Hero. One of those guys.
Word
Easy.
Hero. Oh my gosh.
It's too easy.
Is Word Hero the one that has a cheetah on the thing?
I don't know. It's like I think it's the only one that has a lifetime, like one payment, because everybody else is just like
monthly.
per month. Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
True. All right, Billy.
But it's only based on like ChatGPT 3. I mean, on GPT 3 and not on like 3.5, which ChatGPT is, or 4 that just came out. So, yep.
For me, goal-wise, I've been off to a terrible start, but my goal is to read at least 1 book a quarter. It's been the first quarter of the year. I've read no books, but yet the list of books keep getting bigger.
I mean, you have what? Like,
I'm
you
sorry, I
have
didn't mean to laugh.
half a month left
Yeah, you
for
can
this
do it.
quarter.
I do. It's terrible. It's been so distracted recently. But that was been one of my goals.
I feel like that last book made such a difference for you.
Yeah, it did.
John Mark Comer, was it?
Yeah. John Mark Comer. I'm trying to it's so sad. Like I read the book, it was really good. I gained a lot from it and it put a lot of into practice, but then a lot of those practices, I think after the surgery, a lot of those things faded away because like the routine of life started changed drastically. So I feel like with my spiritual life and prayer life and just this routine of everyday living has changed so much that I feel like I'm building from the ground up again. Like with the recovery and everything, because things have changed so much. So I'm just trying to get into the routine of that. So that's kind of like one of my goals right now, I guess, for the year, but it's like ongoing. Like one of them is like having a having like a better prayer life, in terms of not just talking to God, but like listening to God. And I want to get to there eventually as well. Again, reading books as well. And all of these books I have on my list are a lot of just like Christian books. Some of them are more like practical things. Some of them are theological things. So it's like just so many things I want to like learn and read about. So that's that. Do I have any fun goals? What's my fun goal? I don't know. Get abs. That's every year, but I don't think that's
I'll have to
happening
live
anytime soon.
vicariously through you then if that happens.
Absolutely ripped.
Wow.
Oh man, that's not gonna happen. Who knows? Until Savannah has moved out.
What?
Oh man,
18 years.
18 years from now, something to look forward to.
Hey, 17 now.
Oh, really? Yeah, I
Just a
didn't know
little
that.
over 17.
What? Okay. Oh yeah, it's so true. Savannah turns 1 on Monday.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, on Monday so fast. Oh yeah, that's one of my other goals, to be a better dad. Just to be a better dad. As like she grows and she becomes more conscious of life, then that's when I'm assuming things will get harder and more difficult. Is that true, Alan?
It's just you go as your child goes. Right.
True.
And so obviously external forces, external experiences play a part, but I'm also a big believer that if you start, relatively early, right, that a lot of things can be set, right? They say that by age 12, they've got 60% of their habits down, right? So.
Oh, that's why.
Optimized.
So if you start early, you put the work in early.
Yeah.
I think, you'll reap the benefits. Sort of like with finance. You start early, you reap the benefits earlier on and
Should have
stuff.
invested
But yeah,
in my 20s.
hey man, that would be awesome. So yeah, it depends. As a general thing, probably that's probably accurate. Things get more complicated. So, but then you get older, you get wiser, you get more resources to be able to whatever. Just don't get lost in what it is that you're trying to do. Like, don't get lost in providing for the family that you can't take care of them.
True.
Yeah.
True. The father of all
words.
fathers, man.
I am not
Father of all earthly fathers.
not the all father. No,
Earthly all father. Hey, you can either be jealous of Alan's fatherly abilities, or you can be inspired.
so not even, guys. Come on,
Inspired.
guys, come on.
So inspired.
So inspired. That's cool.
Yeah.
So
All right. It's been great catching up with you guys.
Yeah.
To you listeners, we hope that you had fun with us
for this hour and a half.
It's just the power of what 3 questions can do.
My goodness. Seriously. Oh, wow.
We hope that you had fun with us and you were blessed and you laughed a lot and you got to know us more at an intimate level. Intimate, like Jesus and the bride.
His pride.
Jesus and his pride.
We hope that you have a good week and that you're blessed by this episode, and we'll see you again next episode because we're here for the rest of the year. But we're glad that you're here with us and that you're continuing to be with us in this journey, and we hope that we spoke life into you and that God spoke through us. And so Join us again next week. It's gonna be a great episode. It's gonna be on Chat GPT, so we can't wait for that. We can't wait for that episode, and so we hope that you're blessed and that you stay faithful. And join us again next time for another episode of the Prodigals Podcast. Well, folks, that's all we have for you this week. We hope that you were blessed by our discussion. Let us know what you think. Send us a shout out on our socials at the handle at the Prodigals Project on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
If you like what you've been hearing, please like and subscribe. Also, leave a rating and review. It'll go a long way in helping us out.
Stay blessed and stay faithful. And join us again next week for another episode of the Prodigals Podcast.